back to another My Hero Academia Vigilantes Season 2 breakdown, this time going over episode 13 titled Graduation and Career Path, the Season 2 finale. Of course, we're going to be breaking down the episode, going over all of the hidden Easter eggs and references, so be sure to Detroit, smash that like button and subscribe to the Kitoroki channel so that you won't miss any My Hero Academia content. Now, the episode begins with Knuckle Duster being sent back by the explosion that ended the last episode, and number 6, missing an arm now, claims that Knuckle is one of the greatest, even better than the number 1 hero, All Might. But number 6 wants to be better than them, as there can only be one O'Clock. Knuckle says number 6 is going to meet his end here, and number 6 doubles down that he isn't just a copycat of O'Clock, as Knuckle, being the original, knows more about Overclock than he does, but he doesn't know a thing about who number 6 really is, and what he's truly capable of, as he uses Overclock to regrow his arm back with accelerated cell growth, and turns both of his arms into bombs. He plans on blowing the building up himself and leaving Knuckle behind. Knuckle advances forward, taking the fight up close and personal, with number 6 dodging his attacks, as Knuckle plans to knock him out before he can blow anything up. Number 6, loving every second of it, calls Knuckle the coolest and swings back. Back at the Sky Egg, Koichi hears an explosion. We see the aftermath of his battle with number 6, as all that remains is rubble, as the building had been destroyed. At the hospital, Cap is recovering from his injuries, as it's revealed that Cap was given all of the credit as the unsung hero at the Sky Egg. Koichi is just glad he got All Might to sign his hoodie, and is relieved he didn't get any credit, because that would have gotten him thrown in jail, since he is a vigilante. Which, given what really happened at the Sky Egg, this does mean that All Might and Koichi unknowingly saved Deku and the rest of the world, since Deku was at the Sky Egg when all of this went down. Turns out Makoto and Tsukauchi had a talk about the Crawler's involvement during the Sky Egg incident, as even Tsukauchi agrees that the Crawler deserves public recognition for what he did, but his vigilantism would force the police and heroes to go after him. Since he did a lot of good at the Sky Egg, they made sure to put in a request to the heroes and other witnesses to keep quiet about the vigilante in the All Might hoodie, giving Koichi a free pass from the law for this specific situation. Makoto praises Koichi for not being after the praise, and Tsukauchi is actually grateful for the Crawler being there, as he is a big reason as to why Makoto and everyone else is still alive. Pamela rushes into the room, beating Chris for being reckless, crying, and thanking Koichi for saving her husband. Koichi thinks it's nice to get praised for once, and 2 weeks later, we see the Narufest gang all waiting at the airport to say goodbye to Captain Celebrity, who is finally heading home back to the United States. Chris tells them that he's glad that he had got to be in Japan with them, as it was a real turning point in his life, and he feels like a whole new person because of it. When talking to the press, he reveals how thankful he is for Makoto, and while he can't reveal the second person, it's clear that the second person he is extremely thankful for is Koichi, viewing the Crawler as a personal hero for him. Makoto reveals that she is also going with Chris to the States, studying abroad at a college in New York, while also still being his manager. For a fun little Easter egg, the building of the college she is going to is designed after Avengers Tower from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. While leaving, Makoto looks back to Koichi smiling, hinting that she has feelings for him, which Pop notices. At home, Pop feels like Makoto should have given Koichi more credit when it came to the reporters, clearly a little jealous of what she had noticed about Makoto liking Koichi. Koichi monologues, saying how this was how the Sky Egg incident went down during his first year as the Crawler, a big incident that made the headlines that he just so happened to be there for. At the time, he thought what made Heroes so amazing was the fact that they choose to dive into disaster zones like that every day, but ordinary people don't find themselves in the middle of major incidents over and over again. He assumed that he surely wouldn't be going through something like that ever again. Back at the location where Knuckle and number 6 fought, Tsukauchi brings back lab results to Tanuma, showing that there were 2 distinct blood samples found at the scene. One belonged to the 45-year-old high-speed hero O'Clock, legally known as Iwao Oguro, and the second blood sample came back inconclusive, as the sample contained unknown blood types and DNA mixed with a number of highly concentrated chemical substances, leaving Tuma to believe that the second person isn't a human and is worried about what exactly Knuckle Duster was fighting. We get a time skip of 2 years as we see some heteromorphs messing with some high school girls, and we see that the Crawler has become sort of a local legend in Naruhata, as the girls call out for the Crawler in hopes that he will save them, and they actually get his name right instead of calling him the Crueler, showing just how much Koichi has made a name for himself as time went by. We see Koichi dodging their attacks and going on the offensive, taking down the two troublemakers with ease. And that's when the guys get back up to beat Koichi, but the guys from the Hopper's Cat Cafe show up, taking down the guys and then hiring the bad guys to prevent them from going down the wrong path in life. Pop tells Koichi that he has an interview in the afternoon, so they have to leave, but the girls want to take a picture with all of them. Koichi does his interview, letting them know that the most valuable thing he gained during his years as a college student was the experience and the friends he gained doing local volunteering, which we all know he's talking about him being a vigilante. At home, he tells Pop he thinks he did well at the interview and is just glad if any place is willing to take him in. Pop asks if he doesn't have any big dreams for the future, but he claims his dreams have already came true, as for a little over 3 years he's been able to play hero, and he knows that people are grateful for him, which him being a vigilante for a little over 3 years means that there is only about 2 or so years left until we make it to the start of My Hero Academia. Koichi got to do everything he dreamed of doing as a kid, and now he just has to get a real job. After repairing his classic All Might hoodie, he decides to bring out a new limited edition dark color All Might hoodie. Once he gets a job, he won't be able to play hero anymore, so when this new hoodie is worn out like the rest, maybe then it will be time for the Crawler to retire for good. Pop is shocked to hear this, as she clearly doesn't want their time together to end, and when Koichi asks her to go on patrol with him so he can try out his new hoodie, she stumbles to get ready. They head out on patrol with Pop wondering what their future holds, as Koichi monologues on how fun everything was during his years living in Naruhata. But his story doesn't end here, as the summer of his senior year would be the Crawler's final season. But the episode doesn't end just yet, as we get an anime-only post-credit scene showing All For One and Dr. Ujiko doing maintenance on number 6, making sure number 6 is back at 100% so that they can continue with their work in gaining data, the data that will become vital for the Nomu, making this All For One's first official cameo appearance in Vigilantes. Now, this episode adapted 3 chapters, them being the rest of chapter 57 and all of chapters 58 and 66. This was a great episode to end the season, setting up what will be some of Vigilantes' best arcs. The season had a bit of a slow start, but the highlights were definitely Aizawa's backstory and the Sky Egg arc, with Knuckle Duster once again stealing the show for me with his fight against number 6. Let me know your thoughts on the season finale of My Hero Academia Vigilantes Season 2, as well as the entire season. Let me know everything in the comment section below. In May, we will be getting a bonus episode for the main series covering the bonus chapter where we see Deku return, so definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel to not miss the full breakdown of more. With that said, I'll see you all in the next one.